Namaste and good morning to all of you. Let's start our Wednesday class with some prayers. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Bhu Bhuva Swaha Tatsavitra Varenayam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat Asto Ma Satgamya Tamso ma jyotirgamya mrityorma amritam gamya Om sena vavatu sena bhunaktu saviryam karvavahi tejasvi navadhitamastu ma vidveshavahi Om shanti 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 Om. So on Wednesdays we always talk about some general topic. Couple of days ago, we were talking about Tilak. So today I thought that let me give you some of the background and some of the information about the Tilak. Because from ancient times, there has been a practice in India, in Sanatan Dharam, to apply a Tilak. Some people call it a tika also. It's a mark on the forehead between the eyebrows. That is a tilak. And there are different ways of doing it. Different schools and sects, they apply it differently. But there's a beautiful scientific idea behind it. The main idea is that this is a place where God resides. And we should keep that in mind. We should not leave it empty. So that is the main reason. There are a lot of benefits also, which I'll talk about. And I will also tell you how many different types or the methods of applying this tilak. First of all, this tilak can be applied with a sandalwood paste mixed with some kind of a clay from the rivers. It can be with the turmeric, kumkum. It could be with the vibhuti. Vibhuti is like a ash from the yagyas or from the dhunis of the sadhus. So there are so many different ways this tilak can be applied. So that's why that it could be a red color, it could be a yellow color, it could be a ash color, like a gray color. So different colors also you see, but it's always applied on the forehead and especially between the two eyebrows. The sandalwood paste, what does that do for us? It has the cooling effect. When it dries up, it naturally takes the attention to the eyebrow center. Because first it's wet, it's a paste, and slowly it gets dried up and our attention goes there. So what happens with that? It stimulates the glands there. A pituitary gland and even the pineal gland, it has the effect on. So from that, it helps us become more aware and more alert. It has a positive effect on our body also. It keeps our mind cool and focused. So sandalwood mixed with the clay, it's almost like a chalky material when you mix with that. When it dries up, it's either white or it is yellow in color. Sometimes we apply kumkum. Kumkum also helps us focus the mind. stores energy, awakens a psychic ability. Kumkum, and that's red in color. Kumkum. Bhasam or vibhuti, these ashes from the sacred fire, see, like when we do the yagya, the havan, these ashes of the sacred fire contain some of the herbs, because when we offer that samagri has the herbs, mixture of herbs. And those herbs, when they are burnt in the fire, it contains the energy of those herbs. And at the same time, energy of the mantras which are recited during the yagya. That's why we never throw the ashes from the yagya into the garbage. Either we apply it or we can just sprinkle it around our house. So bhasam has the quality to absorb energy, so we imbibe some of that energy. Some people even say that it protects you from radiation. And it also has a subtle effect on our mind, because it reminds us that our body is going to become ashes one day. It is temporary. So we don't get attached to this body of ours, which is temporary. Some sadhus, they just smear their whole body, not just only the forehead, smear their body with the ashes. And again, this is a reminder to them. So you can see that there are so many benefits. If we can just condense them all, it really means that the tilak makes our thoughts positive and pious. Because when we think about it, God resides here. You're all familiar with the chakras. And this is a chakra which is called Agya chakra. That's where the God resides. Place for God in our body. That's why it's considered, this body is considered a temple. Deho Devalya Prokta. This is a Devalya. So we apply that tilk over here to remind us. That's how we keep the positive thoughts in us. Tilk improves our focus and concentration. It keeps our mind calm, composed, and cool with the effect of that material which we apply over there. It also creates a spiritual aura around us. When you remind yourself that this body is not just a physical body, but there is an energy, godly energy inside it. So spiritual aura. And it enables the Agya chakra, which creates a spiritual power. So these are some of the benefits. People say that it also protects us. And there's a story which goes with it. If you have read Bhagavad Purana, or if you have watched Krishna Leela, when Krishna was a little boy, in the river there was a Kaliya Nag. Kaliya Nag was hurting people over there. And what did Lord Krishna do as a little boy? He danced on the hood of the Kaliya Nag for a long time. And when he conquered that Kaliya Nag, he told the Kaliya Nag to move away from there. Kaliya Nag said, sure, I will move away, but I'm afraid of the Garud. He will kill me. Then Lord Krishna put the imprints of his feet on Kaliya Nag. He said that you are protected. And this is how the worshippers of Vishnu Bhagwan, which are called Vaishnavites, they apply the tilak, remembering that there are feet of Lord Krishna on the forehead. That's why they just make two lines joining at the bottom. It's almost like a U, long U in the forehead. And they put a bindi in the middle, the red bindi. So that long U is made out of chandan, the sandal paste, and bindi is the kumkum. And bindi represents the Lakshmi. The Lakshmi. So they feel protected. So God protects us from disasters. It's a reminder to us. They say that if you keep this red bindi, the Lakshmi, especially the Lakshmi inside the Lord Vishnu's feet, you will not suffer poverty in life. Lakshmi is the symbol of wealth, wealth, prosperity. So that is the meaning of the red bindi inside. It also, when we put this tilak on us, builds trust within people. If you see somebody else wearing that tilak, we know that we are together. We will help each other. It also reminds us of our true identity and relationship with God. See, just like we see the policemen, they wear a uniform. Military people, they wear uniform. So that's how certain people in the certain sects, they just wear these tilks in certain way. So to remind themselves to act according to their duty also. There are many different ways to apply this. Just like I told you that Vaishnavites, the way they wear the tilk is called a Udhar Kundra. Okay, it's just like a V, long V. So almost like a two vertical lines in the forehead, but joined at the bottom. And worshippers of Lord Shiva, they put the Tripundra. Those are the lines drawn horizontally on the forehead. And that is with the bhasam, holy ash. That's, and again, there is a bindi in the middle, the red bindi. The people who worship the Shakti, they just put a long red line in the middle of their forehead. So these are like a different ways to identify themselves, which denomination they belong to. So whether they are Vaishnavas, any sect of worshippers of Vishnu, but then there are subsects also. That's why you might see many different ways. Some people just make it a very round, some people make it like a conical also, but again, there is a V. So, and the lines are vertical. And then Shivites, their lines are horizontal. So long as we are attached to Maya. Maya means this illusion, this Prakriti, the power of the Prakriti. It is advisable to worship the Sagun Brahma. Sagun. That is a Sagun form of Parmeshwar, the Supreme God. God is one, but either we can worship or we can remind ourselves with the aspects of the Prakriti or Nirguna without the aspects of the Prakriti. So applying of tilak is kind of a ritualistic worship of God. Some people, especially the monks, early in the morning after taking bath, then first thing they do is apply this tilak on them. So it's a ritual. And scriptures state that this tilak should be applied with the ring finger or with the thumb. So it's just like a little instruction over there. And in the middle of the forehead. So there are, that's why I was saying from the ancient times, there's a typical tradition in the Sanatan Dharma is going on. Going back to the Shivites, these 3 lines, there are many meanings of 3 lines. This could be the 3 symbols of the mantra Om, which we are learning in the Shiv Puran, or it could be the 3 gunas in the Prakriti, Satvikta, Rajsikta, Tamsikta, or it could also mean the 3 worlds when we say Bhu Bhuva Swaha. Even though we are recognizing God over here, but God, you are everywhere. Or it could also mean the 3 gods, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, the Trinity. So whatever devotee wants to feel, they can feel that, but presence of God is the most important. Some people also put the tilk on the shoulders, or the chest, or the neck also. Or the ashes, as I was saying earlier, they smear it all over their body also. So number 1 thing we got to remember, that tilk denotes which Hindu religious group a person is part of. So that's like a identification. Identification. From the shape of the tilk and the substance of the tilk also. You can see that whether they are Vaishnavites or whether they are with the three Pundra, Shiva's devotees, or just a kumkum, the red powder with the turmeric in the center. They are the goddess Shakti devotees. So right away you can tell. The Shakti worshippers or the worshippers of Devi, the feminine manifestation of the divine, you will see that a single red vertical line. And sometimes at the bottom of the line, there's a dot as a symbol of her divine energy and power. So these are some of the very common tilks you have seen across the Hindu faith. But there are, as I was saying earlier, that there are subsets and so many variations also. But these are the 3 main kinds. And why is it placed on the 3rd eye? We all have a physical body. We have an emotional body. We have a psychological makeup also. Why on the Agya chakra all the time? Agya means to perceive or command. So this Agya chakra is considered to be the eye of intuition. Through the eye of the intuition, we can discern. Whatever information we get, ultimately we have to discern. Otherwise, we are seeing only with the physical eyes. But intuitively, we need to discern also. We are more than just a physical body. There's a lot more to us than what we just see with our eyes. So this 3rd eye, the Agya chakra, is a spiritually potent part of our being, which we normally ignore. Average person is just only tempted by this Maya, running after the Maya and never going inward. But if we start putting this tilk in our forehead, even if we put it during puja only, And puja we are supposed to do twice a day. So twice a day, if we put this tilak on us, it will remind us. In the morning, it reminds us. In the evening, it will remind us again. Because puja is supposed to be done at the Sandhya time, morning and evening. So rest of the day, a lot of people, they do it all day long, they'll have the tilak on. But if we don't want to do that, at least twice a day, put the tilak on the forehead. It's a reminder to you that look within also. Take your attention to this, towards this divinity also, because ultimately the essence of you is divine. Came from divine, and we got to end up in divine also. So pay attention to that. So tilak is placed on the Agya chakra to invoke this divine energy, as well as act as a reminder of the ultimate life goal. So we should remember that every day. You can imagine that every day if we do it, then it becomes a habit. Anything we do it consistently, regularly, it becomes a habit. So twice a day, just thinking about it, that God is there, God is with me, then you'll never be afraid. You'll never feel lonely. You will see that there's no stress because God is with me, right inside me, right over here. So mind will not get fluctuated, mind will not worry, mind will not go into those negative moods. So that's why tilak is placed on the third eye. Tilak marks the body as a temple. As a temple. Because this divine resides within us all. So as a priest also, when we put the tilak on somebody else, we are remembering and recognizing that it's not only God over here, God in the other people also, whom I am putting the tilak on. Their bodies are also sacred temple of God. So when we recognize that these bodies are the temples, then what happens? We treat our body and we treat others' bodies also as a temple. And we start engaging in such a practice. We'll give the recognition to them. We'll give the man to them instead of asking and ordering the man for us, that they should respect me. No, they are also temples. God resides in them too. Nobody is higher and lower. Not only that, when we know that God resides in my body, we will maintain the health of this body. We will exercise it every day because that is our duty. We will eat the right kind of a food. We will keep the proper hygiene also. Just like outer temples, we keep them clean. We don't even take shoes there. We make sure that everything is spick and span clean there. We don't take any prohibited food there. Even when we offer the fruits and the flowers, we make sure that nothing is bad there. We pick out all the rotten grapes, wash the grapes, wash the bananas, wash the apples. We make sure the flowers are beautiful and fresh. So the same thing, this is a temple. This body should be viewed sacred. That is Sanatan Dharma says. We have gotten this beautiful body after many, many lives of punya karma. So we should not bring it down. From this human body, we are supposed to either become a devata or we are supposed to become liberated. But if we don't keep all this in mind, we'll definitely go down. So our choice is ours. Do we want to slip down or do we want to climb up? This world is full of distractions that often pull our attention away from life's higher purpose. Too many distractions. Applying the tilak is one of several methods described in Hindu scriptures that helps recenter our spiritual focus. It's a reminder to us. That's why I was saying that every day, at least twice, put the tilak over here. Whether you do it with the red bindi or whether you do with the ashes. And we always have ashes in our mandar, we burn incense. What do we do with the incense ashes? We are supposed to take it with our ring finger and apply it over here. You will see, you will feel the energy over there if you start doing it. Maybe first day you won't, second day you will. Slowly and slowly you will be aware of that God resides there. And ultimately I have to go become one with God. So whichever way you want to apply, that's why our saints, our sages, our gurus, big heart, they said, apply 3 lines or apply a U or apply a dot or apply a long line starting from the tip of the nose all the way up, whatever suits you. But make sure that you adorn this place because God resides there. Another thing, tilak can be worn by anyone. So it's a Hindu custom. But you don't have to be a Hindu to wear the tilak. Like most practices in Hinduism, they're open for everybody. There's no restriction. Because other faiths, sometimes we see that people can do, only the people who belong to that faith can do it. But not in Hinduism. Anyone is welcome to participate. Because the Hindu scripture says, God is everywhere. God is in all of us. God has many names, many forms, but God is one. So engaging in such a practice should not be done trivially though. It is very important to remember that tilak is not only sacred, but when you wear it, you are representing an entire spiritual lineage. So it's like a lot of responsibility on you when you wear this tilak. So that's why it is utmost important to understand the symbolism, because this is a symbol. It's a symbol, 3 lines. Yes, you worship Lord Shiva. Red dot, you're worshipping the Mata, the goddess. So there's a profound meaning behind a particular tilak before donning it in public though. That's what I'm trying to say. At home, if you want to do it, that's fine. But if you're wearing it and doing it in public, you are an ambassador of that lineage. So you have a lot of responsibility for that. And then puja. While we do the puja, puja really means the worship. Puja. We go to the temple or we attend special Hindu events, festivals like Janamashtami, Diwali, Dashera, Guru Puja. So those are like special festivals. It's customary in many lineages to apply tilak on one by the pandit, by the priest, on everybody. In fact, during our antim sanskar also, after we have left the body, this body the priest will put the tilak on this body itself. Sometimes right before dying, if the priest is there and a person is leaving the body, priest will put a tilak on that body. And normally that is a white color tilak they put on. It provides auspiciousness during the transition into the next life. In fact, because death can occur at any moment, and the conditions of one's consciousness at that time is considered very important. Because Lord Krishna also said in Bhagavad Gita, the mind is the one which decides where you will go. Mind is the one which will determine the state of person's next life. Coming back here, in which species, or going somewhere else, and how long they will stay. So that's why many texts, the Hindu texts, they recommend wearing tilak every day as a way of maintaining a constant atmosphere of spirituality. Because we don't know when will we face death. So be ready mentally all the time. Keep that spiritual aura. Remembrance of God, that we are the Atma, not the body. Body has to be left behind. So wearing a tilak every day also acts as a reminder to others who see you of their own spiritual goals. So you are wearing it, somebody else is a reminder. You're reminding somebody else. So it is a symbolic magnet, as you can say, that helps to pull the attention of all who see it to a more spiritual plane of existence. So these are some of the reasons and some of the material which is being used to put the tilak. Let me tell you another thing. When the priests, they put the tilak on us, they say this Vedic mantra. Some of them recite loudly, some of them recite mentally. And the mantra is from the Rig Veda. And you all know Rig Veda is the oldest. So you can see that how old this tradition has been. Some of you may be familiar with this mantra. It starts with the Swasti. Swasti means auspiciousness. So it goes like Swasti na Indro Vridshravah, Swasti na Pusha, Vishwa Vedaha, Swasti na Tarkashyaho Arishtnemi, Swasti no Brispati Dadhatu. There are 4 times a Swasti in there. So auspiciousness or the fulfillment of the 4 goals of human life. So when they apply the tilak on us, they are saying that you live an auspicious life, and with that auspicious life, you fulfill the 4 goals of life. So that's why there's more than 1 time Swasti in this mantra. Okay, so 4 times Swasti. So these are called 4 or 4 Purusharths. And I'm sure you're all familiar with the 4 Purusharths. I don't have to tell you, but just a reminder to you, 4 Purusharths are 4 goals of human life. Dharam, Artha, Kam, and Moksha. These are the 4 Purusharths. So the priest is blessing us. The Guru is blessing us by putting the tilak on our forehead, reminding us also, blessing us also, that in this human life, we fulfill these goals of life. We live a life which is righteous, dharam. With that kind of a dharam, we earn our living, earth. With that kind of a earth, we fulfill our desires, kam. And once the desires are fulfilled, we go towards our ultimate goal, which is moksha. So Tilak has all that embedded in there. So Tilak is not just to make us look beautiful, because we do look beautiful when we put Tilak on us. Because that, whether it's a red color or yellow color or white color or even ash color, it makes us look very beautiful. Even a very ordinary face just shines once the Tilak is on the forehead. But there's a lot more deeper meaning, which really translates into reminding us, and we can remember all the time, whether we put it on ourselves or whether the priest is putting on us on our forehead, or whether we see somebody else has the Tilak on them. It's a reminder to us that we got to attain that ultimate goal, and not by neglecting the duties, but while doing our duties, but do not let go of that ultimate goal of life. So this is a little information I wanted to give you about Tilak, which is very, very important for us Hindus. I'm sure you have all had the Tilak in your lifetime many, many times. But my suggestion will be, starting today, after you do your prayers, put the Tilak on yourself. Whether you want to do it with a thumb or whether you want to do it with the ring finger, it does not matter. As long as you just put that Tilak, and at that time, think that you are putting that Tilak on God. You will see that all of a sudden you will feel connected with God. You will have very, very positive thoughts, very positiveness in your body, whether body is going through some kind of a illness, or whether you are going through some financial difficulty, or whether you are going through some relationship problems. You will see that you will have the courage to face it all, because God is with you, just like a little baby in the lap of mother is never afraid. The same way, God is with us. What is there to be afraid of? So this little Tilak reminds us. So please start this practice every day, twice a day. And then let me know, how do you feel? Does it really change your mental makeup? Do you feel more courageous, more positive, more able to handle the challenges of life or not? So let's stop it here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaye Purnameva Visheshyate. Om Shanti 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 Om. Thank you very much.